Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Thursday, January the 9th, 2025. Welcome back to my Flosstube. This is Flosstube by 104, 105, I don't remember. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about all the cross stitch, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing and the comments and all the things. So today's going to be a little bit of a different type of video. Like I'm still having all the stuff, but I mentioned towards the end of my last video, so if you don't watch to the end, this will be a surprise. I mentioned in my last video towards the end how I was going to maybe try to do like a vlog style where I showed the projects like day by day as I was working on them. And so I was like doing little clips here and there. It's already over an hour long, so this is going to be a long video because I still had the other stuff to do too. So I was doing that all week. I honestly and then I was on the fence about, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to keep it like this or if I'm going to like just keep doing what I normally do where I hold the whips up and all, and you know, go back and edit and add the pictures and all that stuff. I was talking to Alara about it because she did a vlog style with her last video. So I know it looks like I'm copying her, but I told her to do that. So really she's still copying me. But we're going to do it vlog style today because I did the work to do it, but also because I got home late today. So I don't want to spend like 3 hours like getting everything sorted. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you my board, and then I'm going to tell you about, like, I'll come back in between each set, because one thing I did realize towards the end of the week was that like the clips are filmed in the order that I worked on them, but they are sorted by the thing like bake off, temperature, Monopoly, weekly pulls, because and so there's like one where I'm like, oh, we're kicking off the week with this, and it's like in the middle of like towards the end of the clips. So I have to, and I also did not say what the stitching was for, like if it was for Monopoly, if it was for bake off, temperature, or whatever. So I'm going to come back in between each little batch of clips and let you know what the next set of whips are going to be for. And yeah, so here's my board. Oh, the ring light. Oh, there we go. I have the ring light on this side today. So here's my board. I don't need that. I did not do this bookmark that I had gotten from, starts with a P. The one that had reached out to me on Instagram asking me to stitch one of their kits and then do like a little review of it on Instagram. I didn't get started on that. I had too much going on because I put extra stitches in on stuff, and I did not get to one of the temperature pieces, Artist Kitchen. That was the last one I was going to do. I was going to try to do it today before I filmed, but I got home too late and I wanted to go ahead and get this going. Sorry. And but I did get everything else worked on. I got all of my bake-off stitching done. This should actually say 573. But I got all 2,300 stitches done on Honeymoon Sunset. And as you can see, I needed 250 stitches on Bake the World, and I did 381. And I needed 500 stitches on Calendar Girl September, and I did 573. Why did I do the extra stitches? Because I finished them. I got 2 finishes this week. 2. 2 projects done. How freaking exciting is that? Huh? How freaking exciting. And I got all of my stitches done on a whole little latte that I needed to get done. I did the math and I was going to need 600. I got all my stitches done that I was going to need for a whole lot of latte. I did 200 stitches on my new start when I was going to do 100. Everything else, I did the normal amount. I did 100 stitches on my full coverage and non-full coverage each. And yeah, this light, oh my God, hang on. Let me move it back over here. Because yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, so that's exciting. Huh? 2 finishes. So exciting. So now I got to replace both of those in my bake-off stitching. So I'll show you those later when we talk about plans. So the first set of projects that I'm going to show you is the bake-off stitching. So we can kick off with the finishes that I got done. And I got all 2,300 stitches done on Honeymoon Sunset that I needed. So when we talk about plans, I will be going into week number 9 for Bake Off. So here's my Bake Off stitching. So this is the next project that I'm going to be working on. It is from Flosstube Designs. This is Bake the World a Better Place. I am going to be using all of the call for DMC. It's sliding on me, it's sitting on my lap. Beading is all done. Let me show you my starting point. So the beading is all done. I still need to fix this bead right here. I had placed it when I was doing these beads here. And so I was thinking it should go there. And in reality, it should have gone more down here. So I do need to fix that bead, but other than that, the beading is all done. Cross stitching is all done in the cupcakes and the hearts. I need to finish the cross stitching here and up here. Back stitch. I need to back stitch these hearts, the words, finish back stitching this cupcake and this one. And then it's going to be done. I need to do 250 stitches on this for Great British Bake Off. So, yeah, I'm doing it with, like I said before, with the call for DMC, and this is a 28 count even weave Jobelan something by Witchell in the color chocolate. So we'll see how far 250 stitches gets me. Check it out, motherfuckers! I got a feeling. My first finish of 2025. Bake the World a Better Place by Flosstube Designs. I went over the 250. I figured I would. I did 381 stitches to get this thing done. And yeah, I'm happy with it. So again, I used the call for DMC and beads. I did this 2/2 on a 28 count Jobelan, I think, in the color chocolate. And yeah, I'm happy with it. So happy days. Let's just admire it for a minute. I love how the beads are like sprinkles in the cupcakes. One thing I do wish is I do wish that there was a little bit more of the blue beads, because it's just pink and green in this part here, and the blue is only in the sprinkles. But yeah, super happy with it. Very cute. All right. All right, so this is my other bake-off stitching piece for my technical stitching. This is Little House Needleworks September. This was from 2014, and this needs 500 stitches. Not gonna lie, I don't know if I'm gonna get the 500 or not this week. I might have to carry this over into next week. I'm not entirely sure, but if when I do get the 500, I'm hoping that this thing will be almost done. So I'm using the call for DMC. this is my starting point, and I'm doing it 2/2 on a 32 count Legacy Lugana by Picture This Plus. I think 500 stitches is going to get me pretty darn close to a finish. So we'll see where I end up this week. And like I said, not sure if I'm going to get it all in, but we're going to try. And I will be back to let you know how many stitches I got in. Check it out, bitches. I gotta finish. Okay, so I did the 500 stitches, and all I had left was her sleeve and the patches in her knees. So I went ahead and just finished it off. So again, this is Calendar Girls September from Little House Needleworks from 2014. I did it with a call for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 32 count Legacy Lugana. This was one of my technical stitches for the Great British Bake Off, and so I will need to be replacing it with another piece. I will show you when I do my face-to-face in-between clip. I will be replacing her with Calendar Girls May. And I'm not really sure, well, I'll talk about it in the face-to-face. I'm not really sure what to do when I get done with the May one because I don't have any other ones started, I don't think. I think that's my last one that's actually started. I do have the rest of them that I need to actually start and finish though. But anyway, we're not focused on that right now. We're focused on her. Isn't she cute? Well, she's sort of cute. Her face is kind of weird, but that's okay. So yeah, Calendar Girls September. One more in the bag. So this will be, I guess it's technically, since my new plans started, this will be my 4th finish because I did Yippee-Ki-Yay, I did Cupid's Cafe, I finished Bake the World, and this is finish number 4 since the 2nd week of December. So that's pretty cool. 4 finishes over a 4-week period. Isn't that wild? All right. So this is Honeymoon Sunset, charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is 869 by 649. It has 133 colors. This is what it's going to look like when it is done. This is my favorite whip. I love working on it. It's a lot of fun. We're getting into the fun stuffs. And as you guys know, I'm working from the upper right-hand corner now. Converted it into a diagonal, and I'm doing 2 diagonals at a time. So I've gotten this far with the current double diagonal, I guess you could call it. This is my starting point, and I love how that gazebo is coming in. That looks really, really good. So I'll be working in this area up here today. Working in the house, and I don't know, let me see. So the double diagonal kind of ends right here. So I'll be getting this much of the house. So that's cool. And I don't know, I need 2,300 stitches for my current bake-off goal. I don't know how far 2,300 will get me because I'm a very bad judge of how far stitches go. I don't know if it'll get me up to the lighthouse or not, or if it'll just stop right there. I have no clue, but I need 2,300 stitches. I don't know if I'm going to get them all this week. I'm hoping to. Today is Sunday. You're going to be seeing these clips out of order because I realized I could move them around in my video editor, which I was super stoked about because now I can group all of my stitching together like I was supposed to, or like I would have in my regular Flosstube. And yeah, so so this will be probably like not really shown in the correct order, but I have no plans today except to stitch. And so maybe, just maybe, I can get this done today. We'll see. So I'm going to be working here. I'm going to try to see if I can have this at a good position where when I come back, you will see. Let me zoom out a little bit just in case. We'll go to right there. What I'm hoping is that when I get done stitching, I can like put the camera in this position right here, and you'll see the after progress right after this. So yeah, I think this is where I left the camera. Sorry. So it's still Sunday. I got it all done in one day, huh? I got 2,300 stitches in on this, so I got my bake-off goal completed. And yeah, so it's looking really good. I'm happy with how that house is turning out. God, that looks really good. Super happy about it. But yeah, so the house is completely done. Now it's just working on moving up into the greenery here, and then into the sky, and then up into, let me see, we would get the top of the lighthouse done. So I will show the whole thing when I do the clips in between the clips. Yeah, but I'll show the whole thing I guess after all this. So, but yeah, 2,300 stitches in on this. I am now sitting at 218,567 stitches done out of 563,981, and I am at 38.75%. So that's exciting. All right. Okay, so you just saw the bake-off stitching, and I figured I would go ahead and show you guys the full Honeymoon Sunset piece because I know you guys really like seeing that. And I was realizing when I showed my after that y'all weren't going to get to see the whole thing, and I know that disappoints some people. So here is the whole project. I'm trying to back up to get it in here. Here we go. The whole project. I'll bring it in. So there's the tree from hell. That looks so pretty, but I hate it so much. And then going down with the hanging threads that don't bother me right now, so they're staying there. Got the tree trunk, the bottom, flowers there, and the middle. That's all staying the same. I'm just showing it because I show it every week. And going across the top. Let's jump down here to the bottom corner right there. And here's the area that I'm working. So I'll keep going in this double diagonal, working my way up to the lighthouse. So that'll be exciting. But yeah, so I'm still like amazed that like right here, let me see, hold on. So my diagonal ends in this block right here, right? So 10, 20, 10, 20. So my next diagonal will start here, and that's the bottom of the piece, like, because I do 2 diagonals at a time now. So that'll be the bottom of the piece. And then once I hit that, it'll be the same length of diagonal until I hit the corner here, and then they'll start getting smaller. So that's exciting. Yeah, it's the only whip I'm gonna actually like show because I am showing the other stuff vlog style. And let me tell you what, it's actually kind of nice not having to pull all these whips out and have them all piled up and this, that, and the other. So this might continue for a little bit. So the next group of projects that I'm going to show are, I believe it's Monopoly. Yeah, the Monopoly stitches. So in the Monopoly game, just a quick reminder, because I did not say what I will do when I film this coming week's clips, because I'm going to do this again this coming week. I will be sure to I will try to remember to say, like when I'm working on the whip, what it's for. Like if it's a temperature piece, if it's a Monopoly piece, what piece it's for, this, that, and the other. So just a quick reminder that the cat landed on Indiana Avenue and had to do 100 stitches. The dog rolled for the first time to try to get out of jail. He was unsuccessful, so I had to do 200 stitches on my jail piece. The duck landed on Waterworks and did 100 stitches, and then the penguin landed on Ventnor Avenue and did another 100 stitches. So here's my Monopoly whips. All right, this is the Botanical Blackwork stitch along from the Steady Thread. This was from 2022, and I'm doing the garden layout. I don't have a mock-up of the full thing. I'm trying to remember. I think this may have been like a mystery sale when it was coming out. Yeah, so this is the layout that I'm doing. And I'm doing the main color in 904, which is a really pretty green. And this is my starting point. And I'm doing it with one strand. It's a Blackwork piece. I'm doing it one strand over on a 14 count white Ada. And so this is my starting point. Yeah, so I've gotten this one and this one done. I think what I might do is I might come down here and work on block number 29, maybe. Or maybe I'll start on block 16. I don't really know. I guess you're going to find out. It's going to be around here somewhere, I think. I guess you'll find out when I decide to do this, or when I come back. But I had written 38, 32 on all of the blocks because I think that there are flowers in all of them. And I don't know if I want to keep them all 38, 32, or if I want to change the colors. I might change the colors and just do different color flowers in every block. I think I will kind of gauge it when I pull it out and look at the block and see what kind of flowers they are. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a surprise for both of us, for all of us, really. So I will be back when this just needs 100 stitches, I believe. Yes, I just need 100 stitches on this. So, oh, I should probably do this right here. Okay. So this just needs 100 stitches. I don't know what block I'm going to work on. And if I end up working on one in the flowers, or that has flowers, then I don't know what color I'm going to do yet. So it'll be a surprise for everybody. I'll see you in 100 stitches. All right, so I got 100 stitches done. And as you can see, I decided to change the color of the flowers. So this color over here was 38, 32. I decided since flowers are different colors in the gardens in real life, they should be different colors on my piece. So this block here, the flowers are in DMC 824. The leaves are going to stay 904. So I got my 100 stitches done. And yeah, anybody who is kind of wondering if Blackwork is something that they would enjoy, I would suggest searching on Facebook for Blackwork stitching groups. Two that I know of. I mean, there's other ones. I think there's like Highland or Blackwork. But this one is from the Steady Thread. And there is also Peppermint Purple. I really like her Blackwork pieces too. I have one of Peppermint Purple started for sure, Sunny Waves. And then I think I have, oh, nope, I have two. I have two started from her, from Peppermint Purple. But I know, I'm pretty sure the Steady Thread still puts out free stitch-alongs every year. I know Peppermint Purple does. So you could easily just join the Facebook group, and they post the weekly pattern, and you could try it out for a few weeks and see if it's something that you would like to do. I really enjoy Blackwork as opposed to backstitching. It's different because you're actually making something when you're doing it. You're not just like, I mean, yes, this is a line right here to divide the sections, but you're actually making something with the backstitching. You're not just outlining something. So it's different. It's just different. I would recommend that you do it on no higher count than probably a 16. I prefer 14 count or a 28/2, but not a loose weave. Like if you're going to do it on like some kind of even weave, I probably would do it on something like a Monaco, which is a little bit stiffer because you don't want your threads, because you're only doing it with one strand, you don't want the threads to like get buried within the fabric. So I prefer Aida, but if I'm going to do it on an even weave, I would do it on something stiffer like a Monaco as opposed to a very loose fabric. So anywho, that's my 2 cents on that, and I will see you in the next clip. Okay, this is Rocky Point. This is a Dimensions Gold collection. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. It was designed by James Hemsworth, and I am stitching it with everything that came in the kit. It is in 18 count ivory Aida, and I am currently working in this part right here, the house. Sorry if it's a little shaky. I've been working on my yard. Oh, here's Mr. Whiskers. Hello, my boy. Mr. Whiskers. Hello, Mr. Whiskers. Get your bum out of the way. Anyway, so this is my starting point. And so that's where I'm working at on the house. Let me kind of come out a little bit. I'm trying to play around with how I'm showing this. Anyway, what I was saying is my hands are a little shaky because I was out raking the yard today. But that's where I'm going to be working, and I need to do 200 stitches on this. So I will keep going in the house. What I'd like to do is get the house stitched as much as I can, and as I get these little sections done, go in and start with the back stitch. So I will see you in 200 stitches. All right, so here's my 200 stitches. As you can see, I went ahead and did some of the back stitching that I could on this part of the house right here. When I was doing the cross stitching, it was like really hard to kind of tell what was what. And so once I had a few more stitches in those areas, I went ahead and did the back stitching that I was able to do. Like to kind of divide the side of the house from the front of the house. There still needs to be a line, but there's still more stitches that need to go in over here before I can do that. Just a few more, and then I'll be able to back stitch that line that goes right there that divides the two sides there. But yeah, got my 200 stitches in, and that's all I got to say about that. So there we go. Kind of zoom out a little bit. Okay, so this is Reaching Skyward by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was the stitch along for 2023, I think it was. Pretty sure it was 2023. This is not the color mock-up that Jacob gave. These are colors that I chose based off of the fabric that I'm doing this on. But yeah, so I am currently working in the upper left-hand corner right up here. And this is my starting point. One second, let me find the info on it. View PDF. I have no clue how big this is. Wait, maybe I can figure it out. 250 wide, 380. So 380 by 250, I believe is what it is. But I'm doing this with DMC. I was trying to see if I could get a better show of the fabric. This is actually a really dark blue. It's not going to show. That's a little better. I'm doing this with E336 and 917. The 336 is the blue, the 917 is the pink, and I am doing this 2 strands full cross on a 20 count Aida. This was the fabric of the month for November of 2022 from Mystic Fabrics in the color Polar Blue. I will not need this entire piece of fabric. I just don't want to cut it until I'm done, or at least when I know where the ends are. So anyway, I am starting off at 1,500 stitches done out of 47,789. I am at 3.14%, and I need 100 stitches on this. So I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, so I got my 100 stitches in. I did it all in the motif down here. And so I am now sitting at, one second. I am now sitting at 1,600 stitches completed out of 47,789, and I am now at 3.35%. So what I'm going to work on now is Halloween Calendar by Tiny Modernist. It is 166 by 233, and I'm not sure how many colors it has. I don't want to go down too far. I don't know where the pattern starts on here. I do have this in Pattern Keeper. There is a bit of back stitching in it, so obviously in the spider web right there, and I feel like maybe somewhere else, I'm not really sure, but I'll just pull the PDF up when it comes time for that. So this is my starting point. I feel like the fabric is washing out a little bit here. What if I move that? Let me just spin my chair here. That kind of helps a little bit. It looks a little bit more blue, but it's actually purple. Well, it looks blue to me in the camera. I'm not sure if it's going to show up in the video as purple or blue. But this is a 28 count Lugana in the color Dusk from Live and Dye LA, and I'm doing it 2/2 with a called for floss. It's just DMC. This is part of my what is this? Oh, this is Monopoly. So I need to do 100 stitches on this. All right. Okay, so I finished my 100 stitches. I got the number 13 done and moved over to the witch's hat, and Ah, there we go. It's gonna be a little owl wearing a witch's hat. Isn't that adorbs? So, yeah. And I did not tell you my starting percentage, I don't think, because I do have, like I said before, I do have this in Pattern Keeper. So hang on one second. So I started at 3.56%. I did 100 stitches on it, so I'm now at 700 stitches out of 16,842. I am now, oh my goodness, it's not even that late. Why am I yawning? I am now at 4.16% complete. Okay, so next up, I kind of went out of the order I originally planned on, so now I'm like scrambling. Okay, so next up is actually going to be my my weekly pulls, and just real quick, because I don't think I said it in the clip beforehand. Botanical Blackwork was for the cat, Rocky Point was for the dog, Reaching Skyward was for the duck, and Halloween Calendar was assigned to the penguin for those properties. Okay, so next up is going to be my weekly stitching. So the first thing I'm going to be showing is a whole lot of latte, and then my new start, and then my full coverage focus to on 1%. The full coverage focus to 1% basically is I have 18 full coverage pieces in Pattern Keeper that have not hit 1% yet. And so my goal was to try to see how many of them I could get to 1%. So I went through Pattern Keeper, wrote down all of the ones, just the names of which ones were not at 1%. I randomly picked 5 of them that I kind of was like itching to work on. And then once I picked them, then I calculated how many stitches it would take for them to each get to 1%. So Day to Night North America, you're going to see it on when I update my boards. Day to Night North America needed 1,516 stitches to get to 1%. Obviously I didn't get that, but we're just chipping away at it. And then my non-full coverage to 4,000 stitches, I picked 5 random non-full coverage pieces that I want to get 4,000 stitches on. So once they hit 4,000, they will get replaced with another one. And that was Coffee Gnome that I worked on this week. And obviously I didn't get the full goal, but it still needed 3,800 stitches to get to the 1%. And then my new start, as you saw, was Spicy Disaster. And that is my 5th new start pull. So I will not be pulling a new start out of my giant bin this week, but have no fear because I have another new start plan. Actually, I have to look at the calendar, so I will be back when I start talking about plans, I'll be back to let you know if there's other new starts I have to do. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So the next blurb of clips is going to be my quote unquote weekly stitching. So the Whip of Shame, full coverage, non-full coverage, and new start. Okay. Okay, here's my Whip of Shame for the month of January. It's a whole lot of latte by Dimensions, designed by Barb Tortilla. Doing it with everything that came in the kit. It's a 14 count black Ada, very bright colors. I like the colors. I don't mind stitching on black fabric. I don't know why I hate working on this piece so much, but this is my starting point for the week. I can't fit the whole thing unless I go sideways, and that'll look really weird. Can't fit the whole thing in the frame the way I have to record. So you're just gonna have to look at it like this, and then we'll do another pass through at the end of the week once I do my 100 stitches a day. So there we go. Okay, so I got all my stitching done for the week. It's a total of 619 stitches. Whoo! So where I stitched was all over the place. So coming back up to the top, I wasn't going to backstitch, and Rita Marie left a comment pointing out that I was going to be hating myself if I saved it for the end. And she's right. So I went ahead and backstitched that cup right there. And I can't backstitch the saucer until I get a few more of the stitches done down here. Like there's a few more stitches here that I have to do. Then I can backstitch the saucer. And then I filled in some more of the cup here and the purple over here. This cup over here, I got some of the steam worked on. This cup, I brought that border down a bit more. I got some of the saucer worked in on this cup down here, and I got the word who for a whole lot of latte. So I've kind of been working all over the place. Basically, my attack plan was to pick a cup, do a length of floss, and then move to the next cup and do a length of floss in that one and move on, and so on and so on. So that's what I've been doing. But this cup up top here, that's going to have to hold off until I get those stitches on the blue cup filled in to where I can backstitch that cup. So the next time I work on this, I will probably go ahead and do that, like do those stitches right there, so that when I move on to this cup up here, I can backstitch that saucer, and then that cup will be completed, and then I don't have to worry about it. And then with this cup here, once the steam gets filled in, I can backstitch the actual cup. And actually I might be able to do both the cup and the, yeah, once I get that steam filled in right there, I'll be able to backstitch the cup and the saucer, because I went ahead and did the part of the saucer for this cup that touches this saucer. So yeah, I can't do the whole thing. Yeah, I can't do the whole thing, unfortunately, because of how I have my phone, but that's where I'm at with that. So 619 stitches completed on this. This is my new start. This is my Leisure Arts kit called Spicy Disaster. It says, I'm not a hot mess, I'm a spicy disaster. It looks super cute. Oh my God, there's little chili peppers. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Makes sense because it's Spicy Disaster. But yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how many stitches I'm going to get on this thing. The center is going to be in the P in spicy. So that's where I'm going to start. And yeah, I'm not putting it in the hoop just yet. I work much faster stitching in hand, so I'm going to do that instead. But not much to show because it's blank fabric. And then I will be back to show you what I got done. Okay, so I did 203 stitches on this. I started in the middle. Actually, I was kind of wrong. The center was actually more kind of up this way. So anyway, but I did 203 stitches. That is a combination of full cross and back stitching. And oh, I just realized that these are the peppers on the leaves. Oh, how cute. Oh, that's super cute. Look at that over here. How adorable. So, anywho, but 203 stitches on my new start, and yeah, easy to stitch, but it's a bit of a pain in the ass trying to like start and end your thread when you're doing the back stitching. Got to figure out like how to anchor it and stuff. That was a challenge, but anyway, I did it, and there we go. Okay, excuse me. So this is one of my weekly draws. This is my full coverage, one of my full coverage focus pieces to get to 1%. This is Day to Night North America. Artwork is by Lars Stewart. It is charted by Pain-Free Crafts. This is a retired piece, so it's no longer available. Actually, I lied. Well, no, I didn't tell a whole truth. This is no longer available on Pain-Free Crafts. This is actually currently available on Heaven and Earth Designs. She doesn't call it Day to Night North America, though. I don't remember what she calls it, but this particular pattern is available on Heaven and Earth Designs if this is something that you want. It is 650 by 464, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I don't know how many colors it is. No clue. I am in the upper left-hand corner, and this is my starting point. Sorry for the shakiness. If it's shaking, I can't tell how shaky this is. But this is my starting point. And I am doing it 1/1 full cross on I think this is a 28 count, easy count Lugana. I am currently sitting at 1,500 stitches done out of 301,600. I am at 0.5%. I am probably just going to do 100 stitches on it just so that I can get some work done. I'm not sure what order these clips are going to go in, but in real time, today is Wednesday. And it's about 9 o'clock at night. And I still have, let me kind of spin around here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I still have like 5 projects that I have not gotten to work on yet because of all the other stitching that I did on my bake-off pieces. So, yeah. So I'll probably just do 100. I'm going to see how many of these I can cram 100 stitches on, just so I can get a little bit of work done on them. So I will see you back here in 100 stitches. Okay, so here we are 100 stitches later. And as you can see, the stitches were, I was wondering if you were going to be able to see the 100 stitches because I had so much confetti going on. But what I decided to do is, so like I kind of wanted to do this piece kind of like how Stitching Mommy does her full coverages, where she does the typewriter method, but filling in 10 by 10 squares going across the top so that the top row of the 10 by 10 squares is done, right? But I want to do mine going down the side so that I kind of get the full length of the piece. So that's what I was doing. I was working on filling in this 10 by 10 square, and then I moved down to this 10 by 10 square. So these two, I mean, I think that one over there is done too, but that was done before. So these two are completely done. So next time this comes out, I'll move down to this one. And I'm either working the color down because this is kind of like a, is this a mountain? I don't know what this is. Yeah, it's like a mountain over here. So these colors, all these similar colors are kind of going all through here. So if it's going to go down, I'll travel down with it. And if it doesn't really go down, then I'll kind of go out into the piece. But that's my plan of attack with this piece right now, is to fill in the 10 by 10 squares, but working my way down the piece. And after that, we'll kind of play it by ear and see if I come back up and do the next one down, or if I decide it'll be fun to work my way across, like if this was the bottom, work my way going across and then up and then back across. I don't know. That would be fun too. But yeah, so there we go. Oh, I am now at 1,600 stitches done out of 301,600, and I am at 0.53%. All right, so now these are my temperature whips, and I'm not going to run through all of them again. What I will say is the first 4, Hot Cocoa Gnome, Stitch Your Own Adventure from Harry Potter, Patchwork Quilt Room, and Villa Lorna, those were all for the high temperatures. The low temperature stitching starts at Holiday Quaker. So Holiday Quaker, Sugar Cookie House, Oceans ABC, Reason Someone Smiles, and Cookie Time. Those are all my low temperature whips, which are the projects that you guys voted on. And I do have the results tallied for the replacement piece for Cupid's Cafe for temperature number 9. So we will go over that as well when we talk about the plans. So I'm going to show you the temperature whips, and then we're going to jump straight into a Monopoly game. So I will see you guys soon. Okay, so this one is Coffee Gnome. How am I gonna do this? I'm gonna show it super quick, okay? Really quick. Whoop, that one. If you're new to my channel, go back and watch another video. If you are a returning subscriber, you will have seen this one already. I couldn't really stay on what it's gonna look like because that was the actual pattern. I just wanted to kind of give you a reference as to which one that is. But anyway, so this is Coffee Gnome, and this is my non-full coverage to get 4,000 stitches on it. I don't remember how many I've done so far on it. Just like a couple, 100, maybe a couple hundred, I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to throw 100 stitches in on this so we can count stitches down on it when I update my boards. And I'm using the called for DMC, and I'm stitching this on a 14 count, like light brownish grayish Aida. So I will see you. Oh wait, you know what? I think I might have this piece in Pattern Keeper. This might be one of my Pattern Keeper pieces, or is it the Hot Cocoa Gnome? No, the Hot Cocoa Gnome is the one I have in Pattern Keeper. Never mind. This one's on paper. Okay, all right. I will see you in 100 stitches. All right, so here's my 100 stitches on Coffee Gnome. I did it all in her braid over here. And yeah, I did notice when I was working on the braid up this way, there is one stitch right there that I missed in the white. That's fun. But I will put that stitch in. There's some white in like the center part of the larger kind of poofs in the braid. So when I pull the white out to do that, I'll throw the stitch in over here. But all this, well, once I finish this color right here, and I put that stitch in, but once I finish these couple stitches right here, all of the stitching around the cup will be completed because, right? Yeah, because these are meant to be left empty. So, oh wait, nope, I lied. I need to put in a color here. So once these two stitches go in and this color goes in, and I put that stitch in, I'll be able to actually back stitch the coffee cup, which I would like to do as soon as possible. Not as soon like tomorrow, but I mean like I'd like to do it sooner rather than later. 1, to get some of the back stitching done, but 2, because I really want to see it done. So there's my 100 stitches. So this one is Hot Cocoa Gnome. This is by Cute Broidery on Etsy. No, she's not on Etsy anymore. Cutebroidery.com. Cutebroidery.com. She has a lot of gnomes on her website, and it is so cute. So this is a mock-up in Pattern Keeper. So the back stitching is not present on this because they don't do back stitching on Pattern Keeper. So this down here is going to say like Hot Cocoa, and it's like all outlined and stuff. But I can't show the pattern close up because I don't have a picture of it. So you got to see the mock-up without the back stitching. But this is my starting point. Let me see if I can, it's hard to see. I'm going to be working down here, but that's where I'm at with it right now. And I am starting off, hang on one second. I am starting off at 1,776 stitches done out of 5,627. I am at 31.56% done with the cross stitching. So I will continue working in the whipped cream for the cocoa down here. But this is what I was telling you guys about in my last update is somehow like the darker thread right here, this should have been over one more stitch. And I did not realize that until I was filling in with the lighter red and I was getting upwards, and it was like where I was stitching that red, it wasn't matching up where it should have met up here. So I think I can make it work. Pretty sure I can make it work. What I'm thinking that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like kind of work all this, and then as I get up to the beard, it's a darker shade that runs along the brim. I may try to just stitch that shade. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm just going to stitch that shade wherever it needs to be along this right here and just call it a day. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. But yeah, so there's my starting point. And zoom out again. I could also, you know, I was going to work down here, but no, I'll do this later. I was going to say I could backstitch right up here, like this candy cane, because all that stitching is filled in right there. But I think I'm going to go ahead and continue working down here. So I'm going to kind of focus down here. That way you can see I need to get 200 stitches, I believe, on this. I believe it's 200. My board is on my desk, and I'm trying to read it at an angle, but pretty sure I need 200 stitches on this. So I will see you back in 200 stitches. Here we go, 200 stitches later. So I did what I said I was going to do. Stayed in this little area right here with whipped cream. And there's like, I don't know, is it like chocolate chips or something in the chocolate chunks? I don't know. I don't know what they are, but it's cute. I like it. So I am now sitting at 1,976 stitches completed out of 5,627, and I am at 35.12%. And as I was finishing this, I was thinking about like my board is behind me. It's up against the wall by my desk. So that was my finger. I don't recall how far I am into the temperature stitching goal, but I think that what I might do is when this temperature goal is done, I might have this be the first project that goes into the non-full coverage to 4,000. Oh, excuse me, it's late. The non-full coverage to 4,000, because that would get it to a finish. So yeah, I think I'll do that. Like once the temperature goal is done, this will go into the rotation for the non-full coverage to 4,000 stitches. So that would definitely get it to a finish, because it's like only 5,600 stitches, but then there's also a lot of back stitching. So I don't want to do temperature and then have it almost done, but then I have like a few thousand stitches of back stitching. So anyway, there's my hot cocoa gnome. Okay, so this is the Harry Potter Stitcher and Adventure from Cunning Cross Stitch. This is a retired pattern now, so it's no longer available. This is a mock-up of the parchment outlines. It is a Stitcher and Adventure, so every chapter will be different. This one I am working on is for my youngest son. So this is my starting point. Sorry for the lighting, but this is my starting point right here. I was going to try to work in over here in his house flag, which is for Slytherin. I know last week my excuse was that my kid had my computer, which is where the pattern is. This week, my excuse is that it is really late at night and I am trying to bang out as many projects as possible before I go to bed. So, I mean, it's really late for some people, but this is kind of like when I'm starting to wrap up my stitching, and here I am pulling out another project. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on like this part right here. I'm going to work on that in chapter 1 and work on getting that part filled in along the bottom right here. So, and I just need to do 100 stitches on it. So I'll be working down here, and I will see you in 100 stitches. All right, so I got 100 stitches along the bottom border of chapter 1. So I did a lot of the kind of pale yellow color here at 746. Then I got to a point where I could switch off of that because I was getting bored with it. So I was glad that I hit another color. So yeah, there's that. There's so much stitching in this piece. There's so much because it's like the parchment outlines and then like all the stuff inside the chapters. It's going to be so much. So we'll see what happens the next time this comes out. If I continue doing the outline, or if I move up in here, or even if I decide to figure out how to work in another chapter. I don't know. I'll probably have to stay in this chapter for a while, or maybe what I'll do is if I do the chapter outlines again, I'll continue with maybe the dark brown going along and doing the other chapter outlines. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, 100 stitches on my Stitch Your Own Adventure. All right, here is the next one I'm going to work on. This is Patchwork Quilt Max Colors. Artwork by Sarah Marchetti, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is 700 by 490. It has 238 colors. I am currently, let me slide over here, up in this corner right up here. So here is my starting point. I just need to do 100 stitches, and I'm going to continue what I was doing last time, where this 10 by 10 block over here, I'm going to be picking the symbols and working that thread until it's done, and just continue down. I want to say that the page, hang on, let me pull up the pattern here. The page ends, actually it ends down here, ends right there. So once I'm not going to hit this today, but once I hit down here, then I'll continue with the columns until I get this page done, and we'll kind of figure it out from there. So I will see you in 100 stitches. All right, so here's where I ended up. I got my 100 stitches in. So as you can see, I pretty much have filled in a lot of kind of this area right here. And one of the greens that I had ended up using kind of traveled all across here, and it ended up putting some stitches in like right over here. I think it was 3364. But yeah, so there's my 100 stitches for the week. Most of it was kind of in this area right over here, filling in, I think that's a quilt that goes on there. So I do not recall if I said, but I am doing this with the called for DMC on a 20 count, easy count Aida, 2 strands full cross. And I got this Aida on 1, 2, 3 stitch. So here we go. Okay, this one is Villa Lorna. This is charted by Stitching Moon Designs on Etsy. This is a villa in Norway where she lives, Megan. She took a picture of it and then put it through like paint, Photoshop, something like that. Turned it into like this watercolor effect. and that is what it ended up looking like. And this is my starting point. So this is like 5, hang on, let me put you right there. It's 540 by 376 and has 45 colors. And I've been doing it 2/1 tent stitch on a 28 count easy count Lugana. I originally started this in Royal Rose, and I was not really digging it because if you can see, it has the lighting changes on this. Again, I don't know if y'all see it, but I see it when I'm recording. It just starts getting brighter. But a lot of these colors here are the same freaking color. It's the same color. It's just because when you work in Royal Rose, you're working in like the 10 by 20 columns. And so it's like if you have like, just for example, the color 336 here and here, you're not going to stitch it there. You're going to park it down here. And then you do a new strand of 336 and park it down here. And after I got halfway through this project, I realized I don't really like Royal Rose. Like I said, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Some people like it. It's not for everybody. It's not something I like to do, I discovered. So now I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this mess because I don't want to end all these threads because that would be a big waste of thread. Not gonna lie. So I've been working backwards, working the part threads in, and not gonna lie, I'm getting kind of sick of working over here. So I don't know. I was kind of thinking about, I don't know, maybe I just need to keep doing this. Maybe I'll just stay over here and keep working. So I was thinking about like coming over here on this end and starting over here, working in these threads, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe it's because this side over here is kind of on the darker side. And so I'm tired of working with the dark colors. This area over here is a little bit lighter, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll unbraid these, and I'll just start working these parked threads in, and we'll save this stuff for later. So we'll do that. Because I just need to do 100 stitches, so it's not like I'm working on like a huge chunk of it or whatever. But anyway, so this will be my starting point over here. I'm going to unbraid these and I'll start working these parked threads in. So I'm going to hold this up so you kind of see there's nothing under there. So I am starting off at 10,503 stitches done out of 203,040, and I am at 5.17%. So I will see you in 100 stitches. Okay, so I got my 100 stitches in. And I did unbraid the first set of parked threads, and I'm starting to work them in. So I am now sitting at 10,603 stitches out of 203,040. I am at 5.22%. I did enjoy working on this a lot more tonight. I think because I was working in a different area. Yeah, so I think I will kind of, next few times this comes out, I will kind of stick over on this side and work these parked threads in. And because I have like from here to here, so I have basically a 50 stitch wide section of parked threads that I need to work in. And I guess we'll just kind of go from there. I mean, this is part of my temperature stitching, so it's only going to get a total of 2,000 stitches before it gets replaced with something else. And I was already working over in this area before, so I do not recall how many stitches this had left, but I think I might put the remainder in on this side over here and get these threads worked in. And kind of go from there. I think overall, I mean, you guys know me, I'll change my mind. But I think overall what I'll probably do is work all the parked threads in. And then maybe once I get these worked in, so here's my plan of attack right now. But like I said, I'll probably change my mind. I'll work on getting these parked threads worked into the piece. and then maybe start, because since this is 50 stitches wide, I feel, because that, okay. What I was trying to avoid was where I fill in these areas, and then these threads over here, I do like one stitch and have to end the thread. But I actually had to do that for this black up here. This 310, I had a parked thread right there and a parked thread on that line right there, because that was in the next tower. And so I was working this black thread here, and I worked it down a bit. And then this one here, I did 2 stitches and I had to end the thread, and it was like super freaking annoying. Which I know sometimes I do that with my other pieces that I have parked, but I feel like it's different because I don't have another one of that color like right next to it. I think that's what's annoying me. So yeah, I think my plan of attack until I change my mind, or if it doesn't come back out for a while, and I forget what I was going to do, but I think I will work these threads in, and then once this section of threads is worked in, then I will go back in and I will start filling this in so that it's more like this. And I'll just kind of do that for a bit, and then I'll start until this starts annoying me, and then I'll start working these in, because there's a lot of threads to be worked in. So anyway, there's my 100 stitches. All right, so this is Holiday Quaker by Lila's Studio. I got this on 123 Stitch. This is from 2018, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. Very pretty piece. I'm using the called for threads, except for I think the white and the black. I'm using 310, and I think, no, I was thinking of Halloween Quaker. I had that one too. I don't know. I think this one I might have gotten all the called fors, except for the white. I think I subbed out the white. Anyway, these are the threads I'm using. They're all Gentle Arts. So yeah, this is Raven. I think this is like the equivalent of the black, but I think if there's white in it, I think I'm just subbing out whatever they recommend for DMC. And this is my starting point. I'm doing it 2/2 full cross on a .32 count Lugana in the color Something Blue by Mystic Fabrics. I love her stuff. It's so pretty. But yeah, 2/2 on 32 count Something Blue by Mystic Fabrics Lugana. And I need to get 200 stitches on this, so I will continue working in this motif over here. I do not think that I will get this motif done with that 200. I think it will be almost done. So it's this one right here. And yeah, I don't think I will get it done with the 200, but it'll be almost done. If it does get done, I will figure out where I'm going to go from there. But anyway, there's my starting point, and I will see you in 200 stitches. All right, so 200 stitches later, I was right. I did not get that section done. First time for everything, right? That I was right about estimating a stitch count. It's almost done though, so I just need to finish this little bit right here, and then this part over here, and then that motif will be done. So still don't know exactly where I'm going to work after that. I wanted to do something that was close to something that I've already stitched so that I don't miscount. But that won't be until at least the next time I pull this out, maybe the time after that, depending on how many stitches are needed the next time this comes out. So anyway, there's 200 stitches done, and I don't have a % complete because I am working off of a paper pattern. So there you go. All right, so this is Sugar Cookie House. This is a Mill Hill kit, the Buttons and Beads Spring Series. And look how cute that is with the peeps. It is MH14-1914 for the kit number. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm using everything that came in the kit. And this is my starting point with it. I need to do 100 stitches on this, I believe. Hang on one second. Yeah, 100 stitches on this. And I said last time that I was like working on the beads. You can actually see the beads right there. This time I think I'm just going to work in the cross stitching because it's getting kind of late and I want to see how many more projects I can get 100 stitches in on. I still have this one plus 3 more. I want to see how many of them I can get stitches in on before I go to bed. So I will see you in 100 stitches. All right, so I got my 100 stitches done, and as you can see, I put them in the house over here. I did a little bit of the green down here, and then I started in on the peep that goes on this side, and I started stitching, and I glanced over at my other peep, and I'm like, why does this seem darker than the other one? And I realized that this one over here, I stitched that entire front of the peep in the lighter color. That was just supposed to be like a highlight. So yeah, all that light pink is supposed to be a darker pink, but I'm gonna leave it for right now. And I'm gonna wait and see how everything kind of looks. Like maybe once I get this peep done, I'm gonna see how that one over there compares to this one and see if I think if I need to frog out that lighter pink and replace it with the proper color. So hang on, let me grab the cover sheet here. See, so I don't know. So this is the color it was supposed to be, and I accidentally stitched it with this color here. So anyway, that's a future Jen problem, where now Jen is happy that I got 100 stitches. So there you go. Oh, did I say I'm doing everything in the kit? So it's like a perforated paper, 14 count perforated paper. So there we go. All right, so we're trying this vlog style. We'll see if you guys end up seeing all this. It's a little bit shaky because I'm holding the camera, but this is the project I am kicking off my week of stitching with. This is Ocean ABC by Designworks, designed by Krista Hamrick. I am currently working on the goal block. I need 100 stitches to complete my goal this week. I think what I might do, so I'm gonna look at the pattern. I'm probably gonna work on, well, actually, I think I'll finish this string right here. Yeah, I think I'll finish this string right here, and then I'll do a thread of this light brown in the sand, because this sand goes all over here, and it's annoying working that one color. So but I really like this pattern, so we will see where I end up. All right, so there's my 100 stitches. So as you can see, I finished the thread that was over here, and I put in a length of the sand color that's right there, and then I grabbed that blue that's in the border that goes down here, and I started working on that. So yeah, so I'm using everything that came in the kit. It's a 14 count white Aida, and all the floss that came with it. And yeah, I really like it. So trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about this. This is one of the temperature pieces that you guys voted on, just in case you didn't know that. So there's one temperature down. All right, I'll be back with another project. Okay, so this is Be the Reason. Well, I'm calling it Be the Reason. She doesn't really name these. But it says Be the Reason Someone Smiles Today. It's really cute. I am currently in that center portion right there with the sun. This is out of the Cross Stitch for the Heart book by Emma Congdon. This is available on Amazon. So this is my starting point. Like I said, I'm in the center, working on that sun. And I just need to do 100 stitches on it this week. So I'm doing it on a 14 count white Aida with the called for DMC. And yeah, so I'll see you in 100 stitches. So I got my 100 stitches done. I did it all in that yellow, which is 973. Not gonna lie, not really a fan of stitching yellow. Never really have been. And of course, this project has a lot of yellow in it, so that's fun. But anyway, it's a pretty easy piece to stitch. And bonus is that there is no back stitching in it, so that's a plus. I'm almost wondering the next time I pull this out if I might jump down and start working on the word smiles, because it starts like right down here. Yeah, like right about here, the word smiles starts. So I'm almost wondering if maybe the next time this comes out, if I kind of break it up and I'll work a little bit on the word smiles and then come back up and work a little bit on the sun. I don't know, we'll see what happens, but that's for another day. But there's my 100 stitches. So this is Cookie Time. It is by Soda Stitch. Got it on Etsy. And it is 156 by 198. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I am watching the color change with the lighting. I am doing the back stitching as I go with this. And this is my starting point with it. So as you can see, I've completed the whisk and the 2 cookie cutters there. And I've moved over here to the jar of candy. I don't know what the hell kind of candy that is. It looks like giant jawbreakers. I'm doing it with the called for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count white Monaco. And I do have this in Pattern Keeper. Of course, it doesn't show the back stitching, so the numbers that I give you will be for the cross stitching. And so I am currently sitting at 1,342 stitches done out of 15,173, and I am at 8.84%. I need to do 100 stitches on this. So I will see you back in 100 stitches. Okay, so I got 100 stitches done over here in the candy jar, and I I did a couple lines of the white stitching. I feel like you can actually see it better than when I normally hold it up. But I got a couple lines of the white stitching, and I filled in the pink right here, and I still had some pink left on my needle, so I came over here. There's just a little bit of pink left over there to do. And then I grabbed 775, which is like a light blue, and started working my way over here, and then I hit 100, so it stopped. But yeah, there's 100. So now I am sitting at 1,442 stitches done out of 15,173, and I am at 9.50%. All right, so welcome back to my Monopoly game. If you guys want to play along at home, you can pick a token to play along with, and whatever my token lands on, you do the stitches that are assigned to that token. Some people are like me and they have a lot of whips, so they have their own record of what whips they have assigned to each property, and they do that. Some people just have projects assigned to the color groupings, and some will have projects, if you just have like 5 or less, you could do a project per side. You could even do one project for side 2 and 4, side 1 for sides 1 and 3. Doesn't matter. However you want to play along at home, you're more than welcome to. Might get you, you know, you could pick a project you haven't, like, that you're not actively working on, just to get some extra work in on it. But here we go with round number 6. So 3 of the pieces are up here, and then I have the dog in jail. So the dog is still rolling doubles to get out of jail. So I'm just going to leave the board where it's at right now. And if he rolls doubles, then I'll move the board to show where he ends up going. So first up is the cat, who's up here on Indiana. And these dice were stitched for me by Andrew the Runner Stitcher. Okay, so the cat rolled 4, and we're still on the first time around the board, so everything these tokens land on, it's 100 stitches until they pass go, and then we'll start buying properties. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the cat landed on Ventnor. Okay, so we're going to roll for the dog. He's down here in the corner in jail. If he does not roll doubles, then I'm just leaving the board where it's at. Nope, no doubles. So I'm going to have to do 200 more stitches on my jail piece, and he's going to stay in jail. Okay, so now we're moving on to the duck. 3, 1, 2. Ooh, that was close. 3. Oh, that was close. Pacific Avenue. And the penguin, who's on Ventnor right now. Oh, penguin rolled doubles. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Short line. So, oh, you didn't even see that. Okay, I'm going to, hang on, let me roll first. So since he got doubles, we're going to go again. Oh, doubles again. And, oh, this is exciting. We're passing go, so we're going to be able to start buying properties. How exciting. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, penguin rolled doubles, second one. We passed go and landed on Mediterranean, and we're going to buy it. Okay, if the penguin rolls doubles one more time, he is going to land in jail. Oh, good. Okay, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he is also going to buy Oriental. So to purchase, so the purchase price of all the properties is, let me just go over it now. Purchase price of all the properties is going to be, oh, passing go. I have a whip for the, oh, you guys don't even see that down there, my bad. I have a whip assigned to the go spot, so I will be doing 200 stitches on go, on my go whip. And then I have, and now that we're buying properties, it's, oh, what did I do to myself? Okay, now that we're buying properties, it's 400 stitches to purchase a property. Holy shit. Okay. Why did I do that? Okay, 400 stitches to buy a property. So that's going to be for, oh my God. All right, if you got the penguin as your token, I am so sorry. Because it's 100 for short line, 200 for go, 400 for Mediterranean, and 400 for Oriental. 8, 9, 10, 1100 stitches. Whoo! Plus all my other ones. Whoo! Okay, so I'll gather all those projects up and I'll be back. Okay, so we are going to, next up, we are going to update my boards. Oh, ow. I'm going to tell you before the boards, I'm going to tell you which whip won the voting for the temperature piece. I just got like this twinge in my back. And that way we can update the board with the new temperature piece. And so we'll do that real quick. We'll update the boards, and then I'm going to pull my projects for the weekly stitching, and then we'll pull all the projects and we'll go over the plans. Okay, so for the temperatures, you know what? I don't think I went over what the temperature stitching was. I don't believe I did. So real quick, I have 10 pieces assigned to the numbers 0 through 9, and I have 2 sets of them. So 20 projects total. I have a set for the high and a set for the low. And I look at the projected forecast, because this way, if I have extra stitches I could do one day, I can go ahead and knock a few of them out. I look at the projected forecast high and the projected forecast low for the upcoming week, and I take the last digit of that temperature and I do 100 stitches on the project assigned to that whip. So for example, if the projected high is going to be 84 degrees, I will take the whip that's assigned to the number 4 and do 100 stitches on it. So I picked the ones for the high. I was doing the high last year, and this year I decided to add the low temperatures in, and I'm having you guys pick the low temperatures whips. So you guys all voted, and Cupid's Cafe was a finish last week, so I pulled 2 projects. I pulled the one that lost to Cupid's Cafe and then one random project, and I had you guys vote between them to replace Cupid's Cafe for number 9 for the temperatures. And this is what you guys had to vote on. Gnome was the one who lost to Cupid's Cafe in the beginning. This is by cutebroidery.com. And this is Christmas with Friends by Keslin's. This was the random one that I selected for you guys to vote on. You guys had a week to vote, so if you missed last week's Flosstube, apologies, but you'll get to vote on stuff in the future. Christmas with Friends, it got 33 votes. Gnome got 60. So Gnome won. So this one, oh, I'm sitting here like, oh, look at the pattern. Whoopsies. Let me hold it back here. Gnome is the winner. So we are going to be updating my board when I get to the temperature board. We will be updating it with Gnome. As these projects get closer to 1,700 stitches at that point, like completed, at that point, that is when we will pull projects to replace them. I was not expecting to have to replace stuff, a project that quickly. That's why I was kind of scrambling last week, and it was a very last minute voting session. So there's that. Okay. Whoopsies. All right, let's get my boards updated. So first board up is what I keep calling the weekly pulls. What do I do with my marker? Where's my blue marker? I just had it. Oh, there it is. Okay. First up. Now where's my notebook? There it is. All right. First up, my I'll have to fix that. The 1 and the 2 rubbed off. My full coverage focus to 1%. The one I worked on this week, I do this every time. I don't prepare by taking the cap off. I also do not have project boards. Remember a few years ago where I had the big trifold project board and we cross things, goals off as we got them done. I have not bought those, bought one yet, and I haven't bought a board to write my finishes on, because I was not expecting to have this many finishes this soon. I've had 4 finishes since my whip parade at the beginning of December. Like today's January 9th, I filmed my whip parade December the 9th. In 4 weeks, I have finished 4 projects. That is, I have a hair. That is unheard of for me. I've never had that many finishes that quick. So that is very unexpected. Yeah, but I'm going to Walmart this weekend, so I will get some stuff this weekend, and we will get everything all sorted out regarding getting those boards updated, the project boards, and crossing off the ones that, so I'm going to write all the original whips down that were in my list, and when I come back next week, we will cross off those finishes and we will add the replacements on like I was originally planning, and then we'll write the finishes on my finish board. 4 finishes in 4 weeks. That is unreal for me. Okay, So the full coverage I worked on for this week was Day to Night North America. As you can see, this will be the first time I've worked on it since I started the new plans. I did 100 stitches on it. So my goal for Day to Night North America to get this to 1% was 1,516 stitches. So this is dropping down now to 1,416 stitches. And then my non-full coverage to 4K, these 5 projects here, my goal is to get 4,000 stitches on them. Once they do, they will get replaced with something else. What I will do when these hit 4,000 stitches, I will see where they are regarding how close they are to a finish. My plan is, let's just take Hive Rules, for example. When I get the 4,000 stitches on Hive Rules, if I think it could be just a few more thousand stitches to get a finish on it, I will put it at the top priority list to be a temperature piece once, because those are 2,000 stitch goals. So I will put it as a priority piece into temperature stitching if, say, maybe there's like 4,000 stitches left on it, right? Or if it's like less than 2,000, if I'm estimating less than 2,000 stitches, it will become a bake-off technical stitch, because those are going to be pieces that are close to a finish, and I will work on them until they are done. So that's my plan for those. Okay, if they're nowhere near a finish, then they'll just go into the whip pile to be replaced at random somewhere else. Okay, so the one I worked on this week was Coffee Gnome. I already had 200 stitches on it, so I did another 100. So this is going up to 300. This is going up to 300, and the goal is dropping from 3,800 down to 3,700. My new starts, as you can see, I have my 5 new starts here, and Spicy Disaster was my 5th new start. My plan, which my new start plan is already going out the window, but my plan is to pull 1 new start a week until I hit 5. Once I hit 5, I will rotate through those 5 to get 3,000 stitches on them. Once they hit their 3,000, well, 2 of these on this list, maybe 3, might be done before they hit 3,000 stitches. But the idea is that once they get 3,000 stitches, then they will go into my whip pile, and I will replace them with another new start. When I talk about my plans, you'll see why the new start thing is going out the window. But anyway, Spicy Disaster, I did 203 stitches on it. Yeah, I said I was initially saying 200, but I forgot. I did 203. So this is dropping from 3,000 stitches down to 2,797 stitches. And then down here at the bottom of this piece, I have my big goal for Honeymoon Sunset. And my goal is to get it to 50% by the end of 2025. If I can increase it by like the whole number of the percent, if I can increase that by 1 every month, I will hit 50% by the end of the year. So Honeymoon Sunset, I had 4,406 stitches on it since my whip parade. I have added 2,300 stitches, so we are going up to, where did it go? 6,706 stitches completed, and my goal is dropping from 65,724 down to 63,424. So there's that board. My next board is Monopoly. I have 2 boards for Monopoly. One is for the properties. The other one is for all the special squares like railroads and whatnot. So I have the Monopoly properties written in green. The whips are assigned to them in black. I want to do 4,000 stitches on them, and then they will get replaced with something else because I have like 200 projects. So my goal is to get 4,000 stitches on them. So here's the column where we're tracking how many stitches have been completed. And then this column is how many stitches are left on that goal. So the ones that we are updating on here this week are Botanical Blackwork, which was Indiana. That is 100 stitches that was done on it, right? Yeah. So this goal is dropping from 4,000 down to 3,900. And then the other one on this list that we are updating is Halloween Calendar, which was assigned to Ventnor Avenue. This one also got 100 stitches. And so this goal is dropping from 4,000 down to 3,900. And you will see as we progress with the game that these stitch counts are going to get a lot higher. So I may have to start expanding the Monopoly stitches over 2 weeks instead of 1 week. We'll have to see how it goes. Okay. Whoopsies. Okay, so this is my board that has the specialty ones. So the railroads are here, utilities, and then the corners basically. Visiting jail, when you're just passing the jail spot, when you're in jail, the free parking, and then go. Okay, so the ones I have to update on this board are Waterworks Reaching Skyward. Got 100 stitches, right? Yeah, 100 stitches. And this goal is dropping from 4,000 down to 3,900. And then my jail piece, Rocky Point, is got another 200 stitches. So this is going from 400 to 600. I always have to double check myself. It's easy math, but I still have to double check myself. And the goal is dropping from 3,600 down to 3,400. That's exciting. And then these are my community chest. Like I have 4 new starts I can do a community chest. So that's what these are going to be when and if I land on community chest and I pull a new start card. Okay. And then my last big board, and then I have a small board, is my temperature. Okay, so these are my high temperatures. And the ones we have to update are going to be Hot Cocoa Gnome. This is going from, this got 200 stitches this week. So this is going from 200 to 400. And the goal is dropping from 1,800 stitches down to 1,600 stitches. And then the next one we are updating is going to be Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure for Lachlan. This one got 100 stitches on it. So this is increasing from, my shirt is rubbing on the board. This is increasing from 3. Aw, man. I dropped my eraser. All right, Harry Potter. Increasing from 300 to 400. And the goal is dropping from 1,700 down to 1,600. The next one for this section is Patchwork Quilt Room. This one got another 100 stitches, so it is increasing from 100 to 200. And the goal is dropping from 1,900 down to 1,800. Now, give me 1 second. Before I update the numbers for the low temperatures, oh my God. I can't get the lid off. There we go. God, that was like awkward. Okay, before we update the low temperatures down here, I'm going to erase Cupid's Cafe. And we are going to replace this with Bee Gnome. And this goal is getting reset. Couldn't get the lid back on. This goal is getting reset to 2,000 stitches. The number 9 was actually did not come up in the low temperatures at all last week, so it worked out. Okay, so the ones we have to update on here. First up is Holiday Quaker. This got 200 stitches, so this is increasing from 100 to 300. And the goal is dropping from 1,900 down to 1,700. I started these later than these. That's why the numbers are so off. And then the next one up is Sugar Cookie House. This got 100 stitches, so it's increasing from 200 to 300. And the goal is dropping from 1,800 down to 1,700. The next one to be updated is Ocean's ABC. This is increasing from 200 to 300 as well, because this got another 100 stitches. And the goal is dropping from 1,800 down to 1,700. And then the last one, or nope, not the last one. The next one to update is Reason Someone Smiles. This got another 100 stitches, so this is increasing from 100 to 200. And the goal is dropping from 1,900 down to 1,800. And the last one to update on this board is Cookie Time. This was the first week I got to work on it, and it got 100 stitches, so it is dropping, the goal is dropping from 2,000 down to 1,900. So there's that. Last board. I got to redo this board. I erased the previous 2 that were here. And so I got to fix it. All right, so Calendar Girls September. I had 350. I don't have goals for these because the goal is to finish them, but I don't know how many stitches it would take to finish. So Calendar Girls September is, I had 353. I did another 573 stitches. So this increased to 926, and it is done. And then Bake the World a Better Place. This was 625 stitches. I did another 381. So this had a total of 1,006 stitches, and it is done. And then the last one to update, so Grinch Gnome and Company and Calendar Girls May are going to be their replacements. That's why I went ahead and wrote them on here. And then the last one is my Whip of Shame for the month. I didn't really talk about the Whip of Shame. Basically, I have 15 projects that are really, really old. This one technically isn't old. I just hate working on it. But I have 15 projects that are really, really old. Every month I have you guys vote on and I call it a Whip of Shame because it's shameful that it hasn't been completed yet. A lot of them are very poorly progressed. So halfway through the month, I pull 2 random Whips of Shame out of a basket. I have you guys vote on which one you want to see me work on next, and then that is my Whip of Shame for the following month. The goal is 100 stitches on it a day for every day that month. Minimum of 100 stitches a day. So a whole lot of latte. I had 215 stitches on it already from January 1st and 2nd because my last Flosstube was on the 3rd. So we are going to add, this week I did 619 stitches. So adding that to the 215, this is increasing to 834 stitches on it. And the goal is dropping from 2,885 down to 2,266. So there's that. I have not done my Whip of Shame stitching for today yet. Today's the 9th. So that's actually on par. Okay, good. I was like mentally figuring out in my head and like, oh my God, did I get off already? No, it's fine. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my projects, my weekly stitches. So this one, what is this? This is non-full coverage. Okay, let me mix these up since I peeked. So my non-full coverage for the week if I worked on it in the past week or two, I am reserving the right to pull out a different project. Oh, coffee gnome. Okay, let me pull a different one. I don't want to leave him out because if I leave him out, then I'm going to lose him. Okay, non-full coverage of the week. Yes, Christmas cupcake. Finally, I've been waiting to pull that one out. Okay, and then my full coverage to get it to 1% is going to be Beach Getaway. Okay, and then this one here, the blue ones are the Whips of Shame. We're not pulling one of those yet. These are the 5 new starts right here that I've started over the past 5 weeks. And I'm going to pull one of these. If it's the new one I just started, I'll probably pull a different one. But we'll pull one of these for me to start rotating through them. This one is Cake Shop. So I'm going to pull all the projects that I need to work on this week. I feel like it's an exorbitant amount, and I will be back to talk about plans. Okay, I pulled all the projects I need to work on for this coming week, and like all the temperature pieces, Monopoly, Bake Off, everything. And all the start alongs I said I was going to do. It's so much. It's so much. I know I get a lot of stitching done, but this is a bit much for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to stress it. This is a stress-free year. I ain't going to worry about it. I'm going to work on what I can. And if I only get half of it done, I only get half of it done. I'll just keep working on it until it gets completed. That's all there is to it. So what I will try to do is, before I show you all the whips, I will try to do 100 stitches each on the weekly pulls. I'm still going to do the Whip of Shame. That's going to be like my thing. I'm going to make sure I don't get behind on that because you guys know how much I hate that project. Working on it. I love the piece. I hate working on it. But the Bake Off stitching, I may divide it up over the course of a couple weeks because that's just something I'm doing just to get work in on pieces. And the Monopoly, I may or may not have completed by the end of the week. It really depends on how my week goes because I get my kids back tomorrow. So I can't just come home and start stitching right away. I have to make them dinner. They have to eat. But so when I have my kids, I don't usually sit down to start stitching until probably after 8 o'clock. So I'm not going to stress trying to get all this stuff done. I will do my best to get the temperature stitching done. It's in its entirety, so I stay caught up with that. Other than that, we're just going to kind of play it by ear. You guys will see what happens next week, as will I. But let's go ahead and start going over my plans. All right, so let's do Bake Off stitching first. So I am, realized I never explained the Bake Off game. I've explained it in every other video, so I'm gonna hold off on going over that now. So, but I'm going to start on week 9 of Bake Off. And my main stitching piece is Honeymoon Sunset. I'm not going to hold the whole thing up because I've already done that. I'll just show you my starting point. Just a reminder, this is by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. So I'm doing week number 9 from the most recently completed season. Season's already over. I already know who won. It's just week 9 and week 10, and this season will be done. What am I going to do once that's done? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go back to collection 5 and do the exact same thing, starting with older seasons. But this is my starting point. So I will keep working in that double diagonal right there. And So nobody got a handshake in week 9. And then the person who was eliminated had a stitch count of, where did it go? The person who was eliminated had a stitch count assigned to them of 100 stitches. The person who got Star Baker had a stitch count of 1,200 stitches assigned to them. So it's going to be 1,300 stitches needed to be done on Honeymoon Sunset. After doing the 2,300 last week, that's like easy peasy, but with everything else I have going on, not sure if I'm going to get all 1,300 in this week. Especially because I have other stuff I have to do. And then, so let's talk about what's going to be the replacement pieces for my 2 technical stitches, since I finished both of those last week. That was exciting. My replacement piece for the Calendar Girls September, I'm going to keep going with the Calendar Girls series. The other one I have started, this is the last one I have actually started. I have fabric for all of them. I've completed a few of them, but this is the last one I've actually have already started, and this is going to be Calendar Girls May. And it's by Little House Needleworks. This was their collection from 2014, and that is my starting point. I will go over the details when I show you in the clip. But that's my starting point. So the technical stitches for this piece, there was 4 bakers left in week number 9. So the person who came in last place on the technical had an even stitch count assigned to them, and this is my even stitch count piece. Again, just go watch last week's video. I explain everything. So since it's less than 5 bakers, it's the number of bakers times 50 for last place. So this one is going to get 200 stitches on it. 50 times 4, so 200. And then the one who came in first place had an odd stitch count assigned to them. And this one is going to be Grinch Gnome and Company by Maya Stitch. I'm going to show you the mock-up in Pattern Keeper. There is going to be back stitching on this, but of course it doesn't show on Pattern Keeper. I have the middle gnome completely completed, the reindeer one. I don't know if I'm going to do, I might go over to the Grinch and start in on that. Now this piece is not technically close to a finish, but it's one of the, I don't have a lot close to a finish anymore. So I just picked one of my smaller full coverages, non-full coverages. But this is my starting point on it, and I'm doing it with the called for DMC, and it's 2/2. So this is starting off at, not counting back stitching, 1,238 stitches completed out of 5,472, and I am at 22.62%. I still have the other 2 gnomes to go. That one turned out really cute though. It is adorable. I love it. So this will be the odd stitch count one. And like I said, the person who came in first in the technical had an odd stitch count assigned to them. So that one is N times 100 for first place. So that's going to be 400 stitches on Grinch Gnome and Company. So that is my bake-off stitching. Let's go over temperatures. So starting with the 10th, projected high, the 10th has a projected high of 74, a low of 61. The 11th is a high of 68, a low of 44. The 12th is a high of 66 and a low of 53. The 13th is a high of 67 and a low of 48. The 14th is a high of 62 and a low of 40. The 15th is a high of 61 and a low of 40. The 16th is a high of 59 and a low of 38. And the 17th is a high of 62 and a low of 43. Obviously, those are all in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So, and we got some cold overnights coming. Whoo! I mean, it's been cold overnights, but man, these are chilly. Okay, so what does that mean for you guys? So for the high temperatures, the one assigned to number 1 is Artist Kitchen. Whoops. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Jacek Jurka. I will go over details when I show it in the clip. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. So this one is slated to get 100 stitches. It was supposed to get 100 stitches last week and I did not get to it. So I'm going to try, and I ain't going to stress it if I don't get it, but I'm going to try to make up last week's 100 that I missed. This is my starting point. So I could put, if I can, I'm going to do 200, 100 for this week and 100 for last week. I am starting off at 2,318 stitches done out of 182,696. I am at 1.27%. So this could get either 100 or 200 depending on how my week goes. And my little blurbs about the pieces may or may not be cut shorter because I'm going to have my kids. I don't know if they're going to be hooting and hollering with their friends or not. Okay, the one assigned to number 2 for the high is Sweet Bee. This is by Stitch Rovia. I got this on Etsy. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. It's 140 by 140. Not full coverage, obviously. And I'm working off of paper, so I don't have a starting percentage, but that is my starting point. I don't know if I'm going to work up here, I don't know where I'm going to work yet, but this is slated to get 200 stitches, and this is assigned to the number 2. So that's that. And then the next one is the number 4. This one came up twice for a high of 74 and no. I'm sorry, it came up once for a high of 74 on the 10th. This is the Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure from Cunning Cross Stitch. The one I am working on for my younger son. Here is a preview of the parchment outlines. I don't have a full mock-up because it is a choose your own adventure piece. This is no longer available. He took the pattern down when he put up the Stitch Your Own Adventure for the Middle Earth Sal that he released this year. Well, last year, 2024. And this is my starting point. Where I'm going to work at, I do not know yet. I've been kind of going all over the place with it. So that's my starting point for that. So this one is slated to get 100 stitches. All right. Next up is the one assigned to the number 6. This came up once, and that is Mother Nature's Spring. This is out of the Just Cross Stitch magazine from 2023. I need to put her in a different bag. Mother Nature's Spring. This is charted by Stitchora. She does have an Etsy store. And I'm using I'm working off of my Readly app, so I don't have a starting percentage for this, but that is my starting point with her. I think what I'd like to do, she just needs 100 stitches, so what I'd like to do is work in, I'd like to work in the face here so that maybe I could get the back stitching done on the flower wreath and her head up here. So she will get 100 stitches. And then the next one is the one assigned to number 7 for the high. Sorry, I know this is probably very noisy. I'm trying to get it back in the bag. My goal this week is to change this into a different bag. I got project bags from my mom for Christmas. I'm going to put her in one of those. Okay, number 7 is Patchwork Quilt Room. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Ciro Marchetti, Ciro, however you want to say it. Here it is. I got the max color version. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I am in the upper left-hand corner. This is slated to get 100 stitches. This is my starting point. I am currently sitting at 7,059 stitches completed out of 343,000. I am at 2.06%. I will likely stay in this little area right here, continuing to fill it in. So there we go with that. And then the one assigned to number 8 is Spa Gnome. This is by cutebroidery.com. This is what she is going to look like when she is done. I do have her in Pattern Keeper. So this is my starting point with her. She needs to have another 100 stitches. I am currently sitting at, with the cross stitching, 2,477 stitches done out of 5,479. I am at 45.21%. She does also have back stitching that needs to be done too. So I'm thinking that I might start my 100 stitches with back stitching her cucumber eyes and her nose. Maybe? I don't know. I said that last time and now I don't know if that's what I'm going to do or not. What I want to avoid is the white towel on top of her head. I don't want to save that for last because that's going to be a huge pain in the ass. So that's why I'm like, maybe I should go up there and work more. The one assigned to number 9 for the high is Villa Lorna. This is by Stitching Moon Designs on Etsy. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. As you guys saw in the clip, I decided to come over here and start working in these parked threads instead of the other end because I was getting tired of it. So that's my starting point. And I will continue to just keep working these this one down here because I got my 100, so I ended. But I will continue to work the parked threads in on this end over here. I am currently sitting at, let me just show you the whole thing while I say this. There we go. I am currently sitting at 10,603 stitches done out of 203,040. I am at 5.22%. So this will get 100 stitches. So that's the high temperatures. The lows. The one assigned to the number 0, that came up 2 times. Both had low temperatures this week of 40 degrees. And this is exciting because I haven't gotten to work on this one yet. This is Winter in the Village by Stony Creek Collection. And I'm working off of the paper pattern, so I don't have a percentage on this, but this is my starting point, and this is slated to get 200 stitches. So that's exciting. I don't know where I'm going to work yet. I do not know. And then the one assigned to the number 1, that came up 1 time, and that is Hiding Place, and it is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I started in the upper left-hand corner, and then I decided I wanted to convert it to a diagonal, and I'm doing it in tent stitch, so I counted over because when I do tent stitch in diagonal, I want to do it from the right side. So I counted over, and I started doing the diagonal on the right-hand side. So real quick, that's the side I started on, and I counted over like 6,000 times. This is where I'm currently working, the opposite end. And this is slated to get 100 stitches on it. I am currently sitting at 11,460 stitches done. There we go. It's all folded up now. 11,460 stitches done out of 506,627. I am at 2.26%. So that'll get 100. Would I like to get all of this completed by the end of the week? Absolutely. Will it happen? Absolutely not. Okay, the one assigned to the number 3 is Sugar Cookie House. This is a kit from Mill Hill. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. As you saw in the clip, I realized as I was working on it that I did the other peep in the wrong color. That one is in the wrong color. I pointed that out on the clip. So I am going to just let it sit there while I figure out my life and decide what I'm going to do about it. But that is my starting point, and this is slated to get 200 stitches on it. So there's that. If I can do it when I'm a little bit more relaxed, I might work on some of the beads maybe. All right. Get back in there. Okay, next up is the one that is assigned to the number 4. And that one is a kit from Artiste. And it is Merry Christmas. I love this kit, I really do. Okay. And this is my starting point, and it is slated to get 100 stitches on it. I will keep working in this little guy right here, the T. Mr. T, I pity the fool. Pity the fool that said that she was going to do thousands and thousands of stitches in a week. Okay, and then the final temperature piece is the one that's assigned to number 8 for the low. This came up 2 times for a low of 48, and then the other day was a low of 38. And this is Cookie Time by Soda Stitch. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point with it. I'm looking for it on Pattern Keeper so I can tell you my starting percentage. And, you know, you may or may not care what my starting percentage is, but there's been a couple times where because I kind of track that stuff and I forgot to write it down before I started stitching. So I went back and looked on my old video to find out what I said. So that's partly why I say it, is for my record keeping if I forget to write it down. So Cookie Time. I am starting off at 1,442 stitches done out of 15,173. I am at 9.50%. This is slated to get 200 stitches. All right, so that's my temperature stitching. My bag is already full because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 projects for temperatures. Plus 3 projects for Bake Off. Oh, we still have Monopoly and Weekly Stitching to go. Okay, next up, let's go over the Monopoly. So, excuse me. Oh, goodness. Okay. So the cat, still in the first round, rolled and landed on Ventnor Avenue. And so since it's still the first time around the board, it is 100 stitches. Ventnor Avenue is Halloween calendar. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. It is by Tiny Modernist. And I do also have this one in Pattern Keeper. So since it's the first time around the board, this will get 100 stitches on it. And that's my starting point. I am starting off at 700 stitches done out of 16,842. I am at 4.16%. I'm going to keep working in this block. So this will get another 100. And then the dog was in jail. It was the second time to roll for doubles, and it rolled and it did not get doubles, so it is still in jail. And I need to do another 200 stitches on my jail piece, which is Rocky Point from the Dimensions Gold Collection. By James Hemsworth. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm trying to get the glare off of it. There we go. And this is my starting point. I think I'm going to keep working in the house. So this will get another 200 stitches on it. And then the duck rolled and landed on Pacific, and that was the duck's first time around the board still. So Pacific Avenue is Halloween Letters. Not that. Here it is. Halloween Letters is by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and that is what it's going to look like when it's done. So this will get, let me see, duck landed on Pacific. First time around the board. So this is my starting point. I am working off of the paper pattern. This will get 100 stitches. My goal for the 100 is to work on finishing off this line here. Then whatever I have left remaining will go up to this line up here. And then the last token is the penguin, and the penguin rolled doubles and landed on short line. Short line railroad is checking the list. And this is chart, whoops, it was right. Nope, that's the other one. Never mind, hang on. Checking the list is charted by Charting Creations. Ho hum. Artwork is by Marcelo Corti. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And first time around the board for the penguins. So this is going to get 100, whoops. This is going to get 100 stitches. And that is my starting point. I am sitting at 4,319 stitches completed out of 117,320. I am at 3.68%. So this will get another 100 stitches on it. So it had rolled doubles, landed on short lines, so it rolled again and got doubles again. But that set of doubles got it to pass go. So now we're getting into purchasing. So this is exciting. Okay, so it passed go. I have a whip assigned to go. If I pass go, I do 200 stitches on said whip. If I land on go, I will do 400 stitches on that whip. My go piece is my largest whip. I don't mean like how many stitches I've done. I mean, it's my largest whip. This is, it's 1,200 by 900. It's Catching Rays by, I'm smiling because I know that there's people that have watched me for a while and I know they're going to be excited to see this. Catching Rays, this is by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. I haven't been saying how many, well, no, I have because I've been saying my starting point, but this thing is over 1 million stitches. I know there's pieces that are bigger than that, but this is my biggest piece and it's like, ugh. This is a true lifetime project. Like, there's no end in sight for me. I'm just going to work on this till I'm dead. Okay. This, hang on one second. Let me figure out my life. Here we go. To figure out, because I have my fabric all folded up. So when you see like this tiny amount of fabric, do not fret. This thing fits half of I have a queen size bed, and this thing, the fabric for this fits on half of my bed. So do not fret when you see how small the fabric is, because it's folded. Okay, this is my starting point. I am currently sitting at 25,474 stitches completed out of 1,080,000 stitches, and I am at 2.36%. This page is not quite done, but I decided to convert this into a diagonal, so I'm currently working up here. So this is what I'm going to focus on. So pass and go, this will get 200 more stitches in this diagonal. So because, as you see, I was doing page by page, so I have it in Pattern Keeper on the diagonal, so this tiny little bit down here will be the rest of this diagonal. So I'm going to do the whole thing like that. But this will get 200 stitches done on it for pass and go. And then, so when it passed go, now the penguin can start buying properties. And the property it landed on after go was Mediterranean Avenue. And that is Christmas ABC by Designworks. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm working off of the paper pattern. This is my starting point. So I have 2 blocks done. I have the O and the P because I started in the middle. The only thing I don't have done on them is the beads. I'm not sure if I'm going to go ahead and do the beads now that I'm more comfortable with using beads, or if I'm going to just wait, because I don't want to push on the beads with my hand as I'm holding the piece. So I think I'm just going to work my way up, and then I'll just do the beads coming back down. But this is my starting point, and purchase price for Monopoly is 400 stitches. So this will get 400 stitches, and it will be a surprise when I pull this out as to where I'm going to work, because I don't know what block I want to work in. I will figure it out when I pull it out to work on it. So that was roll number 2, and roll number 2 had also been doubles. So it rolled a 3rd time, and thank God it did not get doubles a 3rd time. I probably would have pulled my hair and screamed. So it rolled doubles for a 3rd time, or it rolled for a 3rd time, did not get doubles. It landed on Oriental Avenue, and Oriental Avenue is Christmas Reindeer by MP Studio, and it purchased this one as well. Again, working off of a paper pattern, so I don't know my percentage on it, but this is my starting point. I am probably going to continue working down here somewhere, but purchase price will be 400 stitches on this. You hear these stitch counts going up? That's why I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get all of this done. So it's okay if it gets spread out over 2 weeks. I'm just trying to find things that I can try to get a lot of work in on a lot of whips, but it's not like a deadline. Even my only deadlines that I have, if I don't make them, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so that was my Monopoly. Next up is going to be my weekly stitches and the starter ones I said I was going to do. So my weekly stitches, my whip of shame, just a real quick, this one here. My goal is 100 stitches a day on it, so I do want to stay caught up on that. This is a dimensions kit, and it's a whip of shame because I hate working on it, not because it's really old, because apparently I started this piece after I started my Flosstube. But this is my starting point. So this is set to get 100 stitches a day. And this one I do definitely want to stay caught up on, because if I get behind on this, I'm just going to say, screw it. I'm just not making the goal this month. So a lot of you guys voted on it because you're hoping that it will be finished or almost finished by the end of the month. I'm hoping that too, really. Okay, and then my my full coverage poll for the week, full coverage to get it to 1%, is Beach Getaway. I just realized I don't have my, well, it's okay. I think it's like 700 some stitches. Let me find it on here though. I'm not going to get it to 1% this week, so that's why I'm not worried about how many stitches are left on it. I'm just looking for it on Pattern Keeper. Where did it go? Oh no. Maker of Pattern Keeper, please let me sort my stuff alphabetically. This would make my life so much easier. It's like I can't even just insert a picture of what it's going to look like, because I need to tell you, I need to say what the starting point is. What the fuck is it? Okay, so it's charted by Charting Creations. And it's a licensed image from Shutterstock. I'm trying to tell you the details I remember. I don't remember how big it is. Oh my sweet Jesus. Where the hell is it? Oh my God, there it is. All I want to do is pull up, there we go. All right, licensed image by Shutterstock. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is my starting point. I'm starting off at 900 stitches completed out of 159,250. I am at 0.57%. I think I need like 700 stitches or something along those lines to get it to 1%. So it's not going to hit the 1% this week. That's why I'm like, I ain't stressing. No stress. No stress at all. Okay, my non-full coverage for the week is going to be Christmas Cupcake. This is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Anders Eisman. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. It has no background. And I do have this in, well, obviously I have it in Pattern Keeper. I did a center start on it. Figure out which way is up. I really like this fabric. It's a fabric of the month from December of 23. It's in the color Palomino. It's so pretty. And this is only going to take up half the fabric, so I will be able to use the other half for something else. That's my starting point. And I am starting off at 625 stitches completed out of 67,748. I am at 0.92%. So there we go. All right. And then the new start that I pulled out of the basket, I mean, it's already started. So now I'm just rotating through those 5 new starts. So the one that I pulled out of the basket was Cake Shop. And this is a retired chart from Pain Free Crafts. Artwork is by Steve Crisp. that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I did an upper left-hand corner start, and I think I want to try to work down the side of it. I think that'll be fun. That's my starting point. Doesn't look like anything right now. I am starting off at 300 stitches completed out of 270,000. I am at 0.11%. So this still needs Christmas cupcake. I have not worked on since I started the new plan, so that's like 4,000. This one needs 2,700 stitches before it gets replaced. Okay, so the last thing, which is partly why I'm like, shit, what am I doing to myself here? There are some start-alongs that Yoshi talked me into doing. One of them is today, so I'm going to try to get that done tonight. So the first one is going to be, I'm doing a stitch-along with Leanne of, well, I think she knows that I'm just in passing. We didn't actually talk about this, but they are doing, Leanne and some from Small Town Stitches and some other people are doing a stitch along with, it's like the Hogwarts, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what they're calling it. I really don't. But basically, everyone, like, there's some people starting the library pieces from the Cross Stitch Studio that are based off of the professors of Hogwarts libraries. Like, it's not a picture of their library, but it's just kind of based off of it. So I decided to go ahead and join in because I had one that had fabric cut for it already. And it's going to be Snape's Library. So I'm going to try to do at least 100 stitches on it. I can tell you right now, no matter what corner I start in, it's going to be all in 939. Someone commented that I need a cone of it, and I do. I need a cone of 939. So that's this new start. Where I'm going to track them on my boards, I have no clue yet. I really don't. I might be able to squeeze them in on the Monopoly board, maybe. One of the Monopoly boards. I might be able to kind of bump everything up. Oh, I'm yawning so much. It's only 9 o'clock. Okay. And then there's 2 other start-alongs, and they're all this week. This one is today, the 9th, the Snape's Library. I should probably keep that out so I don't forget. Then the next one coming up is on the 13th. And this one is going to be, it's one from Yoshi. And I do not have a picture of it. I guess I'm going to have to insert a photo. Dang it. I'm going to have to insert a photo of the piece. Actually, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Let me think here. I might be able to pull it up in my, what's happening? Is there a photo on this? It might not be. Oh, not that one. I'll just put a photo in. Deep Blue Sea from Chatelaine. Yes, I'm starting a Chatelaine. I'm excited. I'm going to be doing it with my conversion. I did a color conversion of the Glorianas because I didn't feel like trying to hunt them down, and I am impatient. I didn't want to wait 6 months for the threads, but this is not the whole piece of fabric. I'm going to do it 2/2 on a 28 count black Jobelin. So I did a thread conversion from Gloriana's to either Classic Colorworks. I got the dinky dyes that were called for, and I dug through my, and I got the, so I got the dinky dyes that were called for, and I got the petite treasure braid that was called for. And then I got to put those in separate bags. And then what I did was I went through my stash and I looked at the different silks and fancy flosses that I had. And I kind of matched them to, as best as I could, to the kind of like color palette of what that specific Gloriana was called for. Like just a quick example, because most people understand old gold. It's like the 676, 677 DMC. I had a mystery Silks for You. It didn't have a tag on it. I just know it was the Silks for You. But that's going to be my substitute for old gold. You know, stuff like that. And so I either did a Silks for You, or I did a Classic Colorworks, or I did a Karen Water Lilies. Those were my substitutions. Because, again, I did not feel like waiting for the Glorianas or trying to hunt them down. And so that will be started on the 13th. Then on the 15th, I do not remember who is starting this one, but I wanted to join in the fun. Someone is doing a hawk run stitch along. Basically, you work on whatever hawk run piece that you have. And I have spring at Hawk Run Hollow, but it's starting a hawk run. I have spring at Hawk Run Hollow. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm going to be doing it with the DMC on a Fabric of the Month from Mystic Fabrics. This is a 20 count Ada in the color Time Worn. I have not decided yet if I'm going to do it like this or if I'm going to make it more square. I don't know yet. I guess I'll have to figure that out this week. This is big enough that I could do it like in a line. And then I could cut the other length of it, of the fabric, and save it for something else. Because I think if I did it all like going down a line like this, it only takes up half of the fabric lengthwise. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to take the entire width of the fabric. That's what I meant to say. So those are my 3 new starts for the week, plus all the other crap. That's why I was saying I don't know if I'm going to be able to, get all of my stitching done. We will have to see. Again, no stress this year with the stitching. We're not going to worry about it. If I don't get it done, we'll just carry it over into the next week. And that's it. So, let me know what you think of the vlog style. I think I'm going to keep it for a few weeks at minimum for now. If it ends up not really being anyone's cup of tea, I can go back to the original way. I do think that even though this is a long-ass video, an hour of it was filmed throughout the week, which saved me tonight from filming for an entire hour. And yeah, like the only quote-unquote editing I'm going to have to do is adding in a photo of Deep Blue Sea, if I can find it. If I can't find it, because it's like might be buried in my photo album, you'll just have to wait, and I'll have to screenshot it and I'll show it. Like, anyway, if I can't find the picture really easily, because I want to try to get this thing like put together and uploaded pretty quick, then you'll see it next week. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. If you like what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. Take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.